So it was supposed to be just another shit Tuesday. I work at this depressing-ass office where the highlight of my day is deciding between vending machine Doritos or a sad granola bar. But today was different. Around 2:30, everyone's phone started buzzing. I checked mine. Emergency alert. Abnormal-faced individuals reported roaming city streets after sundown. Avoid travel at night. Weird as fuck, right? People were losing their minds, whispering about sightings of these creeps, gnawing on people like it was the goddamn apocalypse. Management, in a rare moment of compassion, told us to dip early. No complaints from me. I got on the subway, and the vibe was off. Everyone was tense, clutching their bags and glancing at each other, like someone might morph into a face-melting monster at any second. I just wanted to get home, lock the door, and drown out the world with pizza and gaming. But fate had other plans. I got to my apartment building, rode the janky elevator up to the 5th floor, and immediately noticed something weird. The door to my unit was cracked open. My stomach knotted. Maybe I forgot to lock it this morning? But nah, I always double-check that shit. I pushed the door open, and that's when I heard it. Moaning. Loud, obnoxious moaning. At first, I thought someone had their TV up too loud, but then I caught the voice. Her voice. Jess. "You're so much better than him?" she gasped. My blood turned ice cold. There was a dude in my apartment, with my girlfriend, and they weren't exactly playing Scrabble. I stood there for a second, heart pounding, before my brain snapped back online. I marched down the hallway toward the bedroom, fists clenched. "I bet he doesn't know how to handle you," the guy said, laughing. His voice was cocky, dripping with douchebag energy. "I get why you don't let him hit anymore." "Fuck you," I muttered under my breath, rage blurring my vision. I kicked the door open. There they were. Jess, tangled in the sheets, and this gym bro-looking asshole with a man bun and abs that probably had their own Instagram account. Jess screamed. Man bun didn't even flinch. He just grinned, propping himself up on one elbow, like he was the king of the goddamn castle. "Well, well," he said, smirking. "Look who's home early." "You've got about 5 seconds to get the fuck out of my apartment," I growled. He laughed, like I was some joke. "Or what?" he taunted. "What you gonna do about me fucking your bitch? You wanna watch or something? Face it, bro. She's been bored with you for months. I'm just giving her what she needs." Jess had the audacity to look guilty, but my focus was locked on Man Bun. I wanted to break his nose, but before I could launch myself at him, a blood-curdling scream tore through the apartment complex. We all froze. "What the fuck was that?" Jess whispered, clutching the sheet to her chest. Another scream, closer this time. Then came the pounding footsteps, heavy, frantic, and way too many of them. I darted to the window and peeked through the blinds. My heart dropped. People were running through the courtyard, and behind them, things. They weren't human. Their faces were warped, stretched like melted wax, with jagged teeth glinting in the dim light. One of them tackled a guy, ripping into his neck like it was a goddamn drumstick. Blood sprayed everywhere. "Holy shit," I whispered. Man Bun stood up, completely naked, and way too calm for someone about to get eaten. "What the hell's going on?" "Monsters," I said. my voice shaky. "They're fucking eating people." Jess started sobbing. "We're gonna die." "Not if we lock this place down," I said, slamming the bedroom door shut. But Man Bun? Nah, this dude was built different, by which I mean stupid. "I'm not staying here," he announced, grabbing his jeans off the floor. "I can handle myself." "Bro, you're not John Wick. Sit the fuck down," I snapped. He ignored me, pulling on his pants and heading for the front door. "Y'all can cower in here if you want, but I'm out." "Don't," I started, but it was too late. The second he opened the door, one of those things lunged at him. It was fast, faster than anything should be. Man Bun didn't even have time to scream. The creature grabbed him, its deformed face twisting into a grotesque grin, and dragged him down the hallway. Jess screamed, and I slammed the door shut, locking it. "Holy fuck," I gasped, my chest heaving. Jess was hysterical, pacing back and forth. "He's dead. Oh my God, he's fucking dead." "Yeah, well, he was a dick anyway," I muttered, trying to keep my shit together. The pounding footsteps returned, this time right outside the door. Jess clung to me, sobbing. "Do something," she begged. I grabbed a kitchen knife from the drawer, my hands shaking. The door rattled as the thing outside slammed against it. "Please hold," I whispered, my voice trembling. This wasn't how I thought my Tuesday would go. I was regretting ever moving into this apartment with this good-for-nothing cheating slut. I won't lie, I contemplated using her as bait. But before I knew it, the whole apartment was quiet and the monsters were gone. I yanked my arm away from Jess and told her that my mom was right for telling me to leave her long ago. But then, it hit me. Mom, was she okay? I quickly grabbed my phone and called my mom. She didn't pick up. Then came another buzz from my phone, and Jess's too. It read that the abnormal-faced people had all seemingly vanished. But for some reason, when I look at my own reflection through my phone, my face looks a little weird, and I noticed my stomach started growling unnaturally. I was hungry, so very hungry. And Jess, for some reason, her scent, her cries, her voice, it was all making my mouth water. She looked terrified, but this time, it was of me.
Alright, so I go to this gym near my apartment. It's small, not some bougie influencer shit. Just a regular place with okay equipment and a lot of dudes who grunt way too loud. Usually I go at night because it's less crowded, and honestly, that's when I vibe the most. Big mistake. There's this guy, let's call him Sweaty Steve. You know the type. Oversized hoodie, unwashed gym shorts that look like they're from 2017, and a permanent layer of sweat, even before he starts working out. The kind of guy who sets up on a treadmill but never turns it on, just stands there scrolling his phone. But he started watching me. At first I brushed it off. Gyms are full of people who don't know how to act. But this dude, he was different. Every time I'd move to a new machine, I'd catch him out of the corner of my eye, peeking from behind the weight racks, or stretching near me. The worst. Last week, I literally saw him licking the seat of a machine right after some girl got up, like full-on tongue-to-seat action. I almost gagged. Anyway, tonight I was finishing up my routine, trying to ignore the fact that he was practically hovering. He was on the elliptical next to me, well, next to me-ish because it was broken, and he wasn't even pretending to move. just standing there, sweating buckets, scratching his arm like it was a mosquito buffet, and watching me. When I finally packed up to leave, he waddled over, wiping his face with his sleeve. The smell hit me before his words did, like old socks and regret. "Hey," he said, his voice wheezy, "you, walking home alone?" I turned to him, forcing a smile because, social conditioning and all. "Yeah, I live nearby. I'm good, thanks." "It's dangerous out there," he said, scratching his neck so aggressively I thought he might peel his skin off. "I can walk you home if you want." "No, really," I said, throwing my bag over my shoulder. "I'm fine, thanks, though." He didn't move, just stood there grinning, his face shiny with sweat. "It's not safe," he repeated. "I insist." At this point, my fight or flight was kicking in, and let me tell you, flight was winning. I fake laughed and walked out as fast as I could without actually sprinting. The gym's parking lot was mostly empty. Just a few cars and the flickering streetlight that made everything feel 10 times creepier. I didn't want to look back, but something told me I should. He was following me, not even trying to be subtle either. His heavy breathing and the slap of his sneakers against the pavement echoed behind me. My apartment wasn't far, but every step felt like an eternity. I thought about calling someone, but what was I supposed to say? Hey, there's a sweaty creep tailing me, and I'm too polite to yell at him to back off. I picked up the pace, pretending I didn't notice him, but when I reached my building's front door, he called out, "Wait up!" I froze, my hand on the key fob. You dropped this," he said, holding up. Nothing, literally nothing. His hand was empty, trembling and dripping with sweat. I didn't even respond, just swiped my fob and bolted inside. The second I locked the door behind me, I leaned against it, heart pounding. Through the peephole, I saw him standing there, staring at the door like he was waiting for something. And then, the worst part, he smiled. Not a normal smile, a knowing smile like he'd just won a game I didn't know we were playing. I waited until he finally waddled away, disappearing into the night.
Let me tell you right off the bat, I'm not a paranoid person. I mind my business, keep my AirPods in, and don't mess with the neighborhood drama. But after what I saw at that playground, I've officially entered my conspiracy theorist era. It was a Thursday afternoon, hot as balls, and I was dog-sitting. My sister's psycho Pomeranian, Gizmo. I took him to the park near my apartment so he could run out some of his demon energy while I scrolled TikTok. The place was packed with moms in yoga pants, kids screaming like banshees, and dads pretending to care while they stood off to the side, scrolling ESPN. I was chilling on the bench, minding my own business, when I noticed this dude near the swings. Mid-40s, greasy hair, wearing those creepy-ass wireframe glasses that scream, "I live in my mom's basement." He wasn't with any kids, which was already sus. He had this brown messenger bag slung across his shoulder, and every few minutes, he'd casually pull out a piece of candy and leave it somewhere. No joke. On the slide, near the sandbox, even on one of the benches where a little girl had been sitting. I squinted, thinking maybe I was imagining shit. But nope. There it was, glinting in the sun like some weird breadcrumb trail from Willy Wonka's nightmare. I pulled out my AirPod and muttered to myself, "What the actual fuck?" Gizmo was losing his mind, barking at a squirrel or a leaf or whatever his tiny brain decided was a threat. I yanked his leash and walked closer to get a better look. The dude had moved to the jungle gym now, placing a shiny blue wrapper right on the edge of the platform where kids climbed up. "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?" I called out, loud enough for a few parents to glance my way. The guy froze, his hand hovering near the railing. He turned to look at me, and I swear to God, his smile was the most unsettling thing I'd ever seen. Like he'd practiced it in front of a mirror, but never quite nailed it. "Just sharing some treats," he said, his voice all smooth like he thought that was a normal response. I blinked. At a playground? You don't even have a kid here. He shrugged. Kids like candy. Okay. At this point, I was too pissed off to listen. This dude had the audacity to be weird in my neighborhood, pulling up to a playground and just randomly leaving weird-looking candy around. You're fucking disgusting. Get the hell out of here before I call the cops. A few parents were starting to notice now. One of the dads, this beefy dude in a Patagonia vest, walked over. Is there a problem? He asked, eyeing the candy freak. This creep's leaving candy everywhere, I said, pointing at the blue wrapper on the jungle gym. Like, trying to lure kids or some weird shit. The dad's face darkened. That true? The guy's smile never wavered. Just spreading a little joy. Before I could tell him to choke on his own joy, he turned and started walking away. Real casual, like he didn't have a care in the world. The dad and I stood there watching him disappear down the path. I'll call the park security, the dad said, pulling out his phone. Yeah, do that, I muttered, my stomach churning. I thought that was the end of it. But when I went back to grab Gizmo, I noticed something near the base of the slide. Another piece of candy. A red one this time, wrapped in shiny foil. I picked it up, my hands shaking. Written on the wrapper in tiny, neat letters was a message. See you soon.